Hey everyone, this is Josh,
And Adam.
and we are KindOfALotOGaming, and we're here to do a past to present presentation of the Need for Speed franchise.
A super montage. First time I played the game was on the PlayStation. One of my friends from 7th grade came over. We played the first one, the Need for Speed. It was originally on the Panasonic 3DO, and it got ported to PlayStation and DOS and Sega Saturn and a bunch of other systems.
I guess if you didn't win a race, there was a guy that taunted you at the end of the race, or if you got pulled over or arrested.
On the 3DO,
it was just some obnoxious guy. They had eventually took it out because people hated it.
It's very typical 90s cinematics. The Need for Speed is definitely one of the more realistic of
the first one.
Actually, a lot. Yeah, the first Need for Speed is one of the more realistic of any of the Need for Speed games, really.
As far as like the physics of the cars and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess they worked with them to make like the shifting noises, like for the gearbox and everything, sound like they should for each car, and the tires squealing different for each car and stuff. So that was pretty in depth for especially that time, for how small the games were and everything.
Did you know that in Japan the game was called Road and Track Presents Overdrivin'?
Overdrivin'?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a game eventually released called Overdrivin'? I feel like it's something.
Could have been. It sounded familiar to me.
Yeah.
The music in the game was by Jeff. Well, you know what? I have no idea how to say this. Jeff, Dick, and Saki Kaskas.
I feel like that's
that's who is credited for the music of the game.
I don't think that's real.
It's very possible somebody may have kind of messed around with the Wikipedia.
Yeah. So yeah, Need for Speed first one, pretty solid. One of the better in the series, even though it's the first one.
I will play that today. It's very fun.
So that brings us to Need for Speed 2. Neither of us had really played it before we started making this video, and it's not that good. It was very, very, very arcadey, and it had a lot of the more exotic and concept cars that you didn't really see in any of the other games.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was not fun to play. It was, I guess, it was the first to have the knockout.
It was fun seeing how far you could launch your car off the track.
Yeah. Well, then there was Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, which...
That game was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the first. Well, it was the first Need for Speed that you could download cars. It was meant to just be cars that they didn't originally have in the game that they wanted you to download later. But then there was a modding community,
and some crafty people learned how to make their own crazy cars, like Lamborghinis that drive 2,000 miles an hour
and have the mass of like 40 tons.
Yeah, and then houses on wheels that were faster than the cars you drove, and you look in the rear view mirror, it's like, it's a house.
And I guess it was the first Need for Speed also that you could be the cops and pull the racers over and actually chase after them and do that kind of thing.
That part was fun.
It was cool. I've never really been that big of a fan of the being a cop thing.
Wasn't so much fun.
It's fun, but so that brings us to Need for Speed High Stakes, or I don't know if it was High Stakes and Road Challenge, or if Road Challenge was just a different name.
I don't remember it ever being called that, but it may have been in a different country or something.
Yeah. I really never played this one.
It's pretty much the same, or it's very similar to the third one. It's very similar to Need for Speed 3.
In the game, there was different AIs, and depending on which car and what position they were in and everything, they had different like characteristics they would race with. Like some would try and stick by you and mess with you, and other ones would be more aggressive and try and pass you quicker.
This is all stuff I didn't know about before. Other than that, I think I was not very good at this game.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think you're. Yeah. You're all right at the first one, but
sometimes. And later ones, sometimes. Also.
The next Need for Speed in the series was Porsche Unleashed, which was also called Porsche 2000 because it came out in the 2000s. And everything that came out in the 2000s had to have 2000 in it at some point. I played this one a little tiny bit. It had really, it had damage, So like if you ran off-road too long, it would like wear out your tires and you would drive slower the rest of the race.
I never played this game, so I'm just trusting you with this.
Okay. I could be wrong.
I know this game had Porsches in it.
Yeah.
And I've heard that it's on par with the first game as far as realism goes.
I think
how the cars handle.
How they handle, yeah. I think it did take it a step further as far as the wear on the parts and stuff.
I would agree with that because there was no wear in the first game.
Yeah. But beyond that, I didn't really get too into this game.
It's more fun just to always hold down the
never let go
button
of the throttle.
and then just smash into corners. And
yeah. Where you had a pretty ridiculous amount of customizability.
Customizabilitation.
Not only.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Tell your friends.
Do we really want to say that?
Tell all your friends all about us.